Japanese soldier, a British POW, and mythological fish demon with a grudge. Monster Island promises history, horror, and a whole lot of fish guts, but does it deliver the goods or just flop on the beach like a dying carp? Let's find out. Hey everyone, welcome back to Atomic Cult Media, the home of creature features, schlocky gore, and the kind of films that make you wonder if the rubber suits ever go out of style. And today we're diving headfirst into Monster Island, a new release from Shudder that mashes up wartime history, Malay folklore, and some old school monster mayhem. Set in 1942, Monster Island opens aboard a Japanese warship transporting British prisoners of war across the Pacific. Think Das Boot, but with less tension and more tropical humidity. Things go south fast when the ship is torpedoed by Allied forces. Survivors include a Japanese soldier and a British POW who find themselves stranded on a mysterious island. But the real enemy isn't each other. It's the Orang Ikan, a humanoid sea monster from Malay mythology. Covered in barnacles and trauma, this creature stalks the jungle like it's doing an open mic night for predators. As our two reluctant allies try to survive, they battle not only the beast, but their own deeply rooted wartime hatred, and just a pinch of rubber suit cheese. I like a good creature feature, especially one that's kind of tied to the past and history. I think that's why I like Kong Skull Island so much, taking place during the Vietnam War. It gives it a little extra flavor. But does Monster Island capture that same magic? I mean, it starts out, it has like this history lesson about Japanese warships called hell ships. And I really never knew anything about it, so I thought that was a little interesting tidbit to start the movie out with. And this movie doesn't waste time getting them back on the island and working together. There is a little bit of a tussle at the beginning, of course, but it's not like it takes half the movie for them to start realizing they need to work together. It does it quite quickly, which I appreciate. And it's kind of strange that this movie is sort of realistic at first, like it's almost like this drama, this wartime drama on this island between these two characters. You don't get much of the fish monster until a little bit later. But when he does show up, like, the gore is just outrageous in this. Like, it is like Hatchet. If you ever watched the movie Hatchet, that's the style of gore, like over the top practical gore, which I was not expecting, and I'm not complaining about it. You have the Japanese soldier, Saito, who is stoic and loyal and haunted by his orders. He actually even tries to commit suicide at the beginning of the movie. Bronson, the British soldier, is sort of sarcastic, bitter, surprisingly competent with a machete. And then there's the creature from Malay folklore. It's basically Gilman, and you could tell it takes heavy inspiration from Gilman, which I'm not complaining. I like Gilman. Just go back to the basics, I guess he's sort of like fishy Bigfoot. And at the beginning, I was kind of sold on it because they're actually using like miniatures and pyrotechnics to show like the ship being attacked, which, yeah, I love that. I love the use of miniatures and actual pyrotechnics rather than CGI. Especially for something as low budget as this. And it kind of shows later in the movie, which I'll get into. They use a lot of practical effects, and I like practical effects, but when you use practical effects, you need to shoot it a certain way. And there's a lot of shots of this creature that it looks like a dude in a suit. Come on. It's like kind of folding a little bit in the side, and I feel like this, if you had a better cinematography, it probably would have looked more impressive, but everything's so bright. Even at nighttime, it's so bright, and there's no mystery to it. It just looks very fake at times. And, at moments, they do hide it well, but in a lot of moments, they don't. In the second half, it kind of just meanders and feels kind of aimless, and I don't know. I like the relationship between the two leads, but I think it leans too heavy into the emotional aspect of this. And this is kind of like maybe a disconnect with like Asian cinema for me, where they try too hard to push that emotional button in a lot of their movies. And I think this movie is kind of guilty of that. Like, it's not subdued in any way. It's very corny and on the nose when they try to convey this relationship in the second half between these two guys. But overall, I would probably give this a 2.5 out of 5. It's fine for schlock, but don't expect too much from it. The only reason I really decided to watch this is like I heard on rumblings from Reddit or the horror subreddit that it is actually great. And actually, it's just average, run-of-the-mill, low-budget creature feature that just happens to have the history, period piece aspect attached to it, which I suspect that people kind of lean into liking it a little bit more, which gives it a little extra flavor. And you know how I said I like Skull Island because of that. So yeah, Monster Island, I think it's skippable. If you're in the mood for a gory creature feature, it might be up your alley. I just think it really lacks any depth, especially in the second half. It's like they kind of gave up on the script almost. But did you see Monster Island? Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it. And what are some of your favorite creature features? I would love to know. Appease the algorithm gods, give this video a like. If you like these sort of reviews, I release several a week. So maybe subscribe and hit that bell icon. And if you're down with horror movies like this, I have a whole playlist below of all the horror movies that I've reviewed. And I'll see you later. Bye.